Hello, my name is Hurston Fales, co-founder and chief product officer at Storytailor. Today, we're going to take a look at the different story types that Storytailor has to offer. We're not necessarily going to build a story in each one of them. We're just going to do a quick overview. And in subsequent videos, we'll talk more about how to create stories in each one of those types. Let's take a look. In order to see the different types of stories you can create with Storytailor, you'll want to click or tap on Create a Story. The next screen that you see is step one of actually constructing your story. This is where you select your story type. We have 8 different story types right now and intend to add in more in the near future. So be sure to continue to come back and build stories so you can see what additional types we may have added. The very first story type is an adventure story. It's exactly what you would think. It takes your story idea and frames it through the adventurous mind of a young person, and then allows you to add in those cool hero details to make it more specific to them. The next story type is educational. This story type allows you to take the story idea with all its whimsy and all its humor, but put it through the lens of an educational subject like mathematics or science or history. You have a choice of different types of lenses that you can push the story through to get more of an educational perspective for the outcome. Next, you have the bedtime story. This story type is intended to help you to wind down the little one's imagination as they begin to go into their sleep cycle. We have a bunch of different options on how you do that. Again, with all the fun and the whimsy and the humor that you would put in your story type, but geared specifically towards helping them to go to sleep a little bit easier. Big Emotions is a story that allows you to take that same whimsical story that you put into your story idea, but help to address maybe some emotional challenges that the child may be experiencing at that time. You have a bunch of different options that deal with different ways to be mindful or coping with a challenging subject. So this story is really powerful in that it helps to kind of ease the concepts and make them a little bit more palatable to a young mind. Next, you have a birthday story. This is really awesome story type that really allows the person who's creating the story to dedicate a story to a young person. 9 times out of 10, any of the stories that you put through the story idea will end in some kind of fun party. Next, language learning story type. My favorite. This story actually allows you to learn a foreign language. There are a multitude of languages to choose from that include Chinese or Hindi or Arabic or Finnish. And you can actually take that same whimsical story, put it through Storytailor, and it'll integrate words and subjects and topics in that foreign language contextually with all the fun and whimsy that you expect from a Storytailor story. Next is Pediatric Bravery. This story is specifically catered towards young people who may be having a difficult time from a medical perspective. So if they have to go and do a doctor's visit, if there's a long-term stay, if they have a limb that may have been fractured, you could actually put the story in through Storytailor that includes what the condition might be, and it allows them to read something fun and whimsical to inspire them to go through the process, even if it's something that's a little bit more challenging. So the next time it's time to go to the dentist, create a pediatric bravery story with fun and imagination, and hopefully it'll help that young person get everything that they need to be ready for their appointment. Last, you have the motor skill story. This actually allows you to address some of the physiological challenges that might exist with a child while still having fun and using imagination to help explain what could be a relatively complex topic, especially when it's centered around motor skills with a young person, but still allows them to have fun and see themselves as the hero in their own story. And that is the 8 story types we currently have with Storytailor. As I stated before, make sure you continue to come back to see what additional story types we may have added in for your enjoyment. And that's it for the overview of story types available in Storytailor. As I stated before, stay tuned because we will be adding in more story types to address the specific needs and concerns of young people and parents, but allowing them to do it through a fun, whimsical, and humorous lens. In videos that follow, we'll actually dig deeper into how each of these stories works, what kind of outcomes and outputs they construct, and how you can get the most out of your experience with Storytailor.